The Oscar nominations aren't till January, but we've seen most of the movies, and we already have strong opinions about what's out front. Pete Hammond, Deadline Hollywood. I'm Tom O'Neill from Gold Derby. We haven't seen, Pete, we haven't seen Phantom Thread, we haven't seen The Post, but we've seen most everything.
We haven't seen All the Money in the World.
All the Money in the
Ridley
World,
Scott
we haven't seen
movie.
this, true? Yeah. So how do you think it's shaking out in the early stages here?
Well, I think this is an interesting year because I think two movies that opened in times where you say they're not going to matter for Oscars outside of the season, as it were, Dunkirk, which opened in July, and Get Out, which opened way back in February, are movies I think that are going to go all the way to Best Picture nominations. And so that is a little bit unusual that we're reaching back earlier in the year for some surefire nominees. And I would think at this point that both Get Out and Dunkirk are pretty good bets for Best Picture nominations. So that makes us a little different in the movies coming out now. And you mentioned The Post, Phantom Thread, and of course, All the Money in the World. These are from three directors that have been around Oscars for a long time. They've all been involved with either Best Picture nominees or Best Picture winners, and that means Steven Spielberg, Ridley Scott, and Paul Thomas Anderson. So those are things that we're going to wait and see. But if either one of them or any of them fall by the wayside, I think we're going to reach back to earlier in the year because this year is an odd year.
Why is it
We're
so
not
odd?
seeing things that I would bet the farm on. Like, I'm just saying, only those two movies, and Get Out is like a Blumhouse movie from,
Right,
but
it's
it
a
was
horror,
such a
comedy,
big,
it's-
yeah,
oh,
but
all
it's
right.
such a brilliant movie.
All right, well, let's defer to the experts at Gold Derby, the ones that are already sticking out their thin, trembling necks. 24 of us. 11 say Dunkirk is going to win. We've got 2 experts saying Shape of Water. 6 are saying The Post, even though we haven't seen it. I have it at number 1, too, even though I haven't seen it, but it's kind of like my
You
placeholder.
not only haven't seen it, you haven't seen footage from it.
I know,
You
but-
haven't seen one bit of footage. How can that be your choice to win Best Picture? Does that mean, Tom O'Neill, that there is nothing else that really is blowing you away here this year, and so you're going with the one movie you haven't seen?
Do you know that at Gold Derby, Pete, we predicted 12 Years a Slave was going to win Best Picture before we saw it. And the odd thing about Gold Derby, if you look historically back at the predictions, in August, before the film festivals, we get 2 out of 3 of the acting awards right.
Yeah.
Now, in many cases, we've seen them at Sundance ahead of time.
Yeah, these movies.
But
I'm talking about a movie you haven't seen one piece of footage of.
But in many cases, come on, Pete, we don't have to.
Well, you know, I mean, it's Steven Spielberg directing Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. That doesn't mean that it's a slam dunk. It could be, you know, a very fine, dull drama that doesn't, you know, and the problem for The Post is because you're building such expectations, there's no way that movie will meet
if
it.
a Spielberg movie is produced, it's even War Horse got nominated for Best Picture, right? And that had mixed reviews.
Yeah, but I still think you're going in, we're all going to go in and say, oh, this is the one. And that's an unfair position for these movies to be in, I think. But anyway.
Not if you're Spielberg. In general, yes, I would say
I won't put The Post up there. I won't put it up there quite yet till I see at least the trailer. How about that?
No, I want you to go all the way right now. Hey, you know, last year we got surprised, of course, for Best Picture, and Moonlight pulled that. Is there what could be
We
the
got surprised even after they announced Best Picture.
Good point. What could be this year's Moonlight? Like Call Me by Your Name?
I think go right back to, well, Call Me by Your Name could be, but I would go back to A24 because I think they have another potential with the Florida Project.
To win Best Picture, really?
It could win Best Picture.
I'm not so sure about that.
It's a beautiful little independently made movie that's doing exceptionally well so far.
It is, that's true.
Not only with critics, but also at the box office in its limited break. And so we'll see how that one progresses.
Willem Dafoe is out front to win Best Supporting Actor according to the Gold Derby odds.
He is, and he's terrific in a different role against type the type of roles that he's played. And I could see that happening. You know, that's what I would say the Moonlight of this year is. Plus, it takes place in Florida, just like Moonlight did.
That's an interesting idea.
And so I think there is a symmetry there, if you want to know. But you know, you look at this list here of Gold Derby's rankings. I still think Dunkirk is, in terms of Hollywood's past and Hollywood's future, and the way Christopher Nolan melded the two in a brilliant epic. This movie really worked, and it worked commercially too, which a lot of people doubted that this movie about a 1940, operation in almost World War II, would work. And I think it was brilliant. And Christopher Nolan is so overdue. He's never even been nominated for Best Director. So Dunkirk is one of the ones I would definitely put at the top, not just because I've seen it and I've seen how it's performed, but I think that's one that will resonate. And Warner Brothers is putting everything they have.
We have two Dunkirk movies in the race now. Yes. We have Darkest Hour, which has more heart. It has certainly more personality focus through the Gary Oldman performance. How strange, isn't it? It's like
it is. They're both talking about the same thing that was happening in 1940. Of course, Darkest Hour is from the point of view of Winston Churchill and what was going on in England behind closed doors as they dealt with that issue. So it's the flip side of Dunkirk, which is about the rescue. And it's really interesting, but I think that's another one that's pretty much a slam dunk, isn't it, for Gary Oldman at this point?
Oh, yes, yes. We'll get to the acting award in a minute. Let's stick with Best Picture. Shape of Water got such a roaring standing ovation at Toronto. I saw it there. It is, of course,
Telluride as well.
Really, and it is a real movie. He takes all kinds of imaginative chances there creatively. And sometimes, to use your Christopher Nolan example, what wins Best Picture is based on who directs it.
Yes.
And in this case, of course, he's overdue.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro. He's part of the great...
Couldn't you see Guillermo winning like the Critics Awards in December and that helping him forward?
Possibly. You know, I don't know who the Critics Awards are going to go to. Sometimes they latch on to things that can help it along, but they don't always go with something that might be a little more popular, and I think this movie could be. And Guillermo del Toro follows in the Oscar footsteps of his buddies from Mexico, obviously, Alejandro González Iñárritu and Alfonso Cuarón. He is every bit as talented and due as they were to win this award. So that would be nice, I think, to see him come in, and he's a great director. This movie is very interesting for people who love movies, and I would keep that in mind when you're talking about the Academy, not so much the Critics Awards, but the Academy, which loves movies that are about movies or that harken back to the golden age of movies, and this movie definitely is from a guy who loves cinema.
3 billboards outside
That's
Ebbing,
one
Missouri.
To look for.
Wow, that just knocked me out.
That's one to look
Martin
for.
McDonagh, of course, a director that could win the Critics Awards.
Yeah, I could see that winning easily in the Critics Awards. In fact, I would say that's probably out front. It was the surprise audience favorite at the Toronto Film Festival. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either.
And because it didn't strike me as an obvious audience picture, but apparently it is. And it's wonderful acting, has a great ensemble of actors. It's got everything going for it. It's quirky. It has that Coen Brothers sensibility, but it's not by the Coen Brothers. I think that's one to look for sure. And it's opening at the right time in early November.
Lady Bird is that little precious gem of a film that has a real good chance of getting nominated, even I mean, not only for Best Picture, but for Director.
Yeah, I see it in the Best Picture category. I think people are going to be charmed by it, certainly for lead actress and the acting and the screenplay, all those elements. And Greta Gerwig is a female director coming in at the right time. I think this is the right year to honor women in Hollywood in every way we can find, and that may benefit her. You know, it could well benefit her to be one of the few women ever to be nominated for Best Director. That would be interesting.
Yes, it sure would be.
And the first female actress ever to be nominated, so in the directing category.